Welcome, folks, to a journey back in time, where the Wild West was as wild as it could get. It was a time of grit, gunpowder, and gambles, where outlaws reigned and legends were born. But it wasn't just a man's world. Oh no, there were women, just as daring, just as ruthless. Women that could ride, shoot, and gamble with the best of them. From Belle Starr to Calamity Jane, these wild women of the West etched their names into history with their audacious exploits. So buckle up as we count down the top 5 meanest women outlaws of the 1800's. Let's dive in, starting with the 5th meanest woman outlaw of the 1800's, Laura Bullion. At number 5, we have Laura Bullion, known as the Rose of the Wild Bunch. This Texas-born outlaw was a member of Butch Cassidy's Wild Bunch gang. Raised in a world of crime, Bullion was no stranger to the outlaw life. She was known for her involvement in various criminal activities, such as horse theft and train robbery. However, despite her criminal endeavors, she was considered less mean than the other women on our list. Bullion was a tough character, known for her sharp wit and cunning nature. Her association with the Wild Bunch gave her a notorious reputation across the American West. She was a mastermind when it came to planning heists and evading the law. But despite her toughness, she was known to have a softer side, earning her the nickname the Rose of the Wild Bunch. Bullion may have been a thorn in the side of the law, but she's only the beginning of our list. Next up, at number 4, we have Belle Starr, the famed bandit queen. Born as Myra Maybelle Shirley, Belle Starr was not your ordinary lady. She was a woman of the wild, a woman of the outlaw life. Her alliance with the notorious James Younger gang and her marriages to outlaws Jim Reed and Sam Starr were testament to her taste for danger and defiance. Belle Starr's life was a whirlwind of horse thefts, bootlegging, and harboring outlaws from the law. But what set her apart was her flamboyant style. She was often seen riding side saddle in a black velvet riding habit adorned with plumes in her wide-brimmed hat and a pair of pistols at her waist. She wasn't just an outlaw, she was an outlaw with flair. Her life was cut short, however, when she was ambushed and shot from her horse in 1889. The identity of her killer remained a mystery, just like the life she led. Starr shined bright in the dark world of the Wild West, but there were others who outshone her in meanness. Coming in at number 3 is Pearl Hart, the Lady Bandit. Pearl redefined audacity in the Wild West, not with a six-shooter, but with her brazen stagecoach robberies. Born in Canada, she ventured into the Wild West, seeking excitement and fortune. Unfortunately, or perhaps fortunately for her legend, Pearl found herself drawn into a life of crime. She embarked on a career as a stagecoach robber, a profession dominated by men. But Pearl was not one to be deterred by societal norms. She planned her heists meticulously, taking advantage of the element of surprise to outwit her victims. Pearl's most audacious act was her final stagecoach robbery. Even though she knew the law was closing in on her, she decided to go out with a bang. The robbery was successful, but the law caught up with her soon after. Pearl Hart's audacious exploits made her one of the most notorious female outlaws of the Wild West. But despite her daring deeds, she didn't quite make it to the top of our list. Hart's audacity was unmatched, but even she falls short of our top 2 meanest women outlaws. Our runner-up at number 2 is none other than Calamity Jane. A rough-and-tumble frontierswoman, Calamity Jane was as untamed as the Wild West itself. Known for her sharp shooting and fearless spirit, she carved her own path across the rugged landscapes of the 1800's. Calamity Jane was not just a survivor, she was a force of nature. Her reputation for hard drinking and brawling was as legendary as the tales of her heroism and kindness. A woman of contrast, she could outdrink any man, yet she was known to nurse the sick and comfort the distressed. Her exploits were as varied as they were numerous. From scouting for the army to performing in Buffalo Bill's Wild West show, she defied societal norms at every turn. Yet, beneath the tough exterior, was a woman who yearned for respectability. Her unfulfilled dreams and personal tragedies only added to her legend, making her an enduring symbol of the wild frontier. Calamity Jane was a force to be reckoned with, but one woman stands alone as the meanest outlaw of the 1800's. And finally, at number 1 we have Annie Oakley, the legendary sharpshooter. Born in the heartland of Ohio, Oakley's sharpshooting skills were honed from an early age as she hunted game to feed her impoverished family. But it was her unrivaled marksmanship that would lead her down the path of infamy. Oakley was known to hit the edge of a playing card at 30 paces and snuff out a candle's flame with a single shot. But this was not a talent solely used for spectacle. Oakley's criminal activities were as notable as her performances. Her aim as deadly in a shootout as it was in a show. She was a woman who defied the norms, who challenged the conventions of her time, and who was unafraid to take on anyone or anything. Her fearlessness and her lethal precision made her a force to be reckoned with, a woman whose name struck fear in the hearts of many. Oakley's aim was as deadly as her reputation, making her the meanest woman outlaw of the 1800's. So, there you have it, folks. The top 5 meanest women outlaws of the 1800's. We delved into the tales of Laura Bullion, Belle Starr, Pearl Hart, Calamity Jane, and the unforgettable Annie Oakley. Each of these women carved their names into the annals of the Wild West with their audacious exploits and fearsome reputations. Their stories continue to captivate and inspire, reminding us of a tumultuous era that was as wild as it was untamed. Now we turn the question to you. Who do you think is the most evil woman of the 1800's? Leave your thoughts in the comments below, and thank you for joining us on this journey back in time.